Renaya, for joining me on this special interview.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Dr. Renaya, I know that, I'm going to be, asking a lot of questions that will be difficult sometimes to revisit some of the journey, the health journey, but thank you for taking your time out to share your experience with the audience because without your sharing what your journey is, a lot of people would not be able to find the hope that you did as well, and I also did an interview with Cherry that we mutually know, and through her, right, and the fact that you're connected, I could see, right, that was really helpful. And can we start with that, and then we can dive into how during your health struggle, darkest time, what was it like to um, talk to someone like Cherry to find out what she's been through to help you make decisions about what you want to do next.
Yes. So let me first start by saying, thank you for acknowledging that sometimes during a journey, especially a journey as the one that I went through, can also be retriggering. And so that tells me, as a trauma conscious practitioner, that you as well get that. And so I just want to put on the record just to say thank you for that. As far as my connecting with Sherry, I think that was one of the best things that I could have done, because what I saw through that connection was that you may be diagnosed via all of those the medical community, but that doesn't have to be your life sentence. And so looking at her, especially being at a stage 4, and now having the opportunity to sit with her and listen to her and just hear her breathe and be there with her, it's like, wow, that's a transformation from what I heard about where she was and where she is now. It's like, I had to be quite honest, when I got diagnosed, after meeting Sherry and where she was in her stage, I was like, oh, I got this. I have people in my corner, and my belief
Mm.
system said that this was not going to be a death sentence for me, which was real important for me to make sure I got that in my head, because I have 3 little ones. And so there was no way that I was going to leave this planet without and leave those little ones behind. I have 4. So I have a 22-year-old, I have a 10, 9, and 7-year-old. And so
Mm-hmm.
my 22-year-old, she can take care of herself, but my babies, no, there was no way I was like, just was not my time. I had stuff to do. The interesting thing, Yan, too, is during that time, I had a sister, a niece, and a
Mm.
sister-in-law, all diagnosed.
Mm.
I'm the only one here.
Mm.
So the connection with just being able to connect with Sherry and know spiritually, and having that connection with you, and being able to like just tap into your knowledge, and not have it just be all about the pharmaceuticals. That was exactly what I needed to transition to this part of my life, you know.
Thank you
So
for sharing that because what I'm hearing you saying is like you have to weigh everything out, and everything that was on this side was like stacking up with all the history and the family histories, and the layers of the stress and responsibility gets heavier and heavier and heavier and gets dark and heavy, and just be able to hear something else right on the other side. That's a little contrasting, a little different than what your doctors and other statistics were showing you. And we need that, and I hope that my channels may be able to show people that it's not just this, this one information you're reading um, from your Google to your medical doctor to your family member, that all, might be feeding off each other's anxiety. Sometimes that's what's going around, and we can bounce off something lighter, more brighter, and alternative that might not have um, all the science data, the large number they want to see, the thousands and thousands of data they want to see, but it's there. That there's so many people just like you and Cherry have overcome this big word, C word, that people,
yeah, yeah.
don't like saying. But if you, you know, you met Cherry and you get to hear her interview too. And she said, you know, she's like, I'm not worried to say the word C word cancer, because it means it's just like any other, you know, it's like you're sneezing, you have a fever. It's like there's something wrong, do something about it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And I wanted to back uh back up a little bit just to let the audience know how amazing you are, you know, from all the accomplishment you have achieved. You know, you're a Dr. Renaya, Willen, because you work really, really hard, right? When you work really hard as a psychologist and bringing in you know, doing all your work over the years, achieving all these degrees, it takes a lot of work. And you know, and then, you know, adopting 3 beautiful children, like all that is work, is things that you wanted to do from your heart, wanting to take care of other people, healing yourself and healing people in your community. And then, so I know that, you know, it's when you receive the diagnoses that it's really heartbroken in ways, scary to say, well, I work hard, I want to do all this stuff, I have these big goals and dreams, right, that you're working so hard for. um and then now you have to face this on your own, because you're always giving. I know that you're such a giver, you want to help so many people. And then when it comes to us, like, it's just something, if you resonate with what I'm saying, is that no matter how much you achieve, that self-care piece, when it comes back to you, you can only do that for yourself. Yes, we can ask for help, we can ask for solutions, but we have to be able to identify, see it, and receive it, open to it. We have to be open to that too, because as givers, like me too, where we're givers and we're giving all the time, I think it's hard. We don't pause right away to think about what we need to do for ourselves.
That and that's yes. I mean, the only thing I could say to that is absolutely. The interesting thing though, Yan, for me was, I think because of my belief system, um, while it was one of those, you know, blows to the stomach, like what in the heck? Like I do everything I need to do. I'm not a drinker. I don't smoke. I try to take care of myself. So to get that diagnosis, it was one of those things like a punch in the gut. But at the same time, it was, I didn't go, why me? Because during that journey, there were so many things that I had to sit still. And the interesting thing, because it was during COVID, I had to almost walk through this process alone, because I couldn't have anyone hold my hand during that time. I couldn't go they couldn't come into the hospital. They couldn't do anything. I mean, it was really a tough journey. And so the children were also out of school because of that. So homeschooling was happening. So I literally had to come home and sit with myself. But the beauty in it, if I can say there was beauty in it, I literally had time to create. I had time to show up in my greatness. I had time to think about this process. And there were so many things that I saw during it. I was like, no, we can change this. Like we can make this better. There's a better way to do this for women. And so my head just went crazy. I was able to write. I was able to come up with different inventions. And so while it was one of those things that, like, oh my God, it was also one of those things like, oh my God, like, wow, look at this. Yes,
This
I
is
had to go
inside of
through.
me. This is
Right,
inside of me, right?
right.
Yeah,
Yes, I had to go
you're
through.
not broken.
I'm
You
not
are
broken.
so
Right. Nope. It wasn't, I
so
didn't feel
rich
broken at
and
all.
valued.
Yeah. And again, like you said, yes, and I was thinking about the sisters and what I could do to help them to navigate through this. And the next step from going from the diagnoses to having to go in and talk to someone, to go through all of the things that you had to go to get prep for the surgery. And I just saw so many things that could have been done differently. So that was important to me. And it wasn't about me at that point. It was really about, the sisters coming behind me who will have this journey that they would have to walk and can
Powerful.
better.
Powerful. See this, you're still thinking, right? Always thinking about, if I can learn through this process, how can I help other people? I know that's always in you.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
can I help other?
absolutely.
Um, and I wanted to see if you could share what were you experiencing at that time, prior to meeting me, um, maybe prior to getting the diagnoses, and then during the treatment, what were you experiencing?
Yeah, which is interesting because I felt like, I mean, I didn't feel sick or anything like that. It was literally a discovery. During the time, I wasn't, feeling nauseous, burnt out, down or anything. My my blood pressure was a little up, and the doctor said I was borderline diabetic, but outside of that, everything else felt okay. It wasn't until he said, so I'm a big believer in fasting and praying, right? And so during that time, I actually, um, before the discovery, I was praying and fasting, and I heard what I thought was this audible, you're going to have to cut your hair. And so my locks were down my back. And
Wow.
I loved my hair. So I thought that that's what it was about. And I did this 7-day fast. And literally when I fast, I eat nothing for the week. It's just hydrating myself. So I was all excited and proud about that. And then the fast was over. And like a day later, I heard you have to fast in my spirit. And I'm like, why? I just did that. I just went without eating. Why do I have to do that? I'm so glad that I was obedient to the spirit, because um my 7-year-old, she likes to climb in the bed, and she went to climb in the bed, and I went to just roll over to hold her. I was like, what is that? And so I thought, well, I had a cyst removed before. It's not a big deal. It was during COVID. I'm not going into a hospital. You must be kidding. People are dying. They're not coming out of the hospital when they go in the hospital. So I refused to go. And then I did this fast, the second fast, and it's not about you cutting your hair, is what I learned. It was that I was going to lose my hair because of the cancer and the chemo and radiation. And so that was a big, like, I'm glad I moved on it. And not, it's because for a couple of months I was like, I'm not going into the hospital. And then finally it was like, I think you need to go. I think you need to be obedient. And so I'm glad I did. And we discovered that it was a 2 centimeter. It wasn't, I thought it was the size of a quarter. That was like, the spirit just amplified that thing for me to let me know that it was serious. And when they said it was a 2 centimeter, I was like, okay, we could do that. That's a dime pretty much. We got this. And so there was nothing around like I'm feeling sick. But and when I got in touch with you, it was during that time that I had the surgery, and now I'm out, and the chemo was kicking my butt. And so just
So you
being,
got sicker with the treatment
yes,
from the
I did,
cancer.
violently sick, violently sick. It was horrible. I wouldn't wish that on, I don't even have it in me, but I
So
wouldn't
what
wish.
was that like when you say violent? Were you nausea? Were you not able
Oh
to
my God, it was worse than nausea. I was vomiting. I ended up bleeding from the rectum, if I could be real. I
Yeah.
mean, I just want to be honest with this. It was so painful, but I kept I kept that, especially for my children. I kept that facade that all was well.
And then
But
so
at
much pain
night,
too. Emotional
I was,
pain and physical pain, emotional pain too.
yeah, oh, definitely emotional pain. Definitely, and yes, the physical pain as well. So I don't know if you have ever experienced vomiting at a violent, like, because the
Yeah,
stuff
I
is
have. I have.
come out of your system.
I
And so
have.
it was horrible, and it was coming out of both ends, and it was just ridiculous. So yeah, and psychologically, it was, I can't believe this is happening. The sickness, like, I don't want to go through this. We have to fix this, whatever this is. My body was just saying, I got you, because what I'm doing is getting rid of the poison. Now, I know that, And I actually had a conversation with the doctor around, wait, so what you're saying to me is you're giving me this stuff, you're poisoning my entire system. They didn't like that word. They didn't like
Mm,
that I called it poisoning, but that's
mhm.
exactly what it was doing to me. My fingernails fell apart. My fingernails, oh, it was horrible. It was
Oh,
the
yeah.
hair, it was just the skin, everything about that process is
This is
brutal.
real. This is
Yeah.
real. I'm glad you're not holding back
Mm.
because I don't think any, people want to like you can't even imagine that if it never happened to you, unless you
No.
hurt your finger. Even if you slam your finger to the door, it's different than having it feeling so raw and
Right.
tingling and pain. I remember talking to you, you told me how much pain it is to
Yeah.
even write and touch things and do things because it's not just the feeling of that, it's what you cannot do during the day.
Exactly.
Right.
So the nerves were shot. I mean, just the whole thing, your whole system is poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some folk will go, yes, but a poison to heal you. Okay. I mean, I can deal with that. But if there's a better way, we should begin to look at that.
Yes. Also, you weren't giving any solutions how to overcome these symptoms and how to repair your body. It's almost like, okay, we're done our job here. We've done what we did.
Exactly.
Now you just go rest, and whatever that rest is means is up to you.
Right. No. And so that's where, yeah, and I'm just so grateful that you um were introduced to me because I didn't get that direction. The fact that you were there and saying to me, okay, so now this is what we're going to do. I will cook for you. So that was the most amazing experience, right? Because it wasn't just about cooking, it was about healing my body with food.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting my body, and you might want to speak more to this because I probably won't say it as elegant as you, but in terms of, getting it alkaline,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that everything that I put in my system was about healing, not
Mm-hmm.
just about putting food in, but to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that I was healing my system. And so that was the most profound thing that I think during this experience that I had.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so going through what you went through, and I'm sure when we met, it, it could be confusing sometime when we just talk about supplementation, right? The first thing, and because remember talking to you already, you said, well, I'm taking something.
Right.
I have some supplements, right? And the other thing is, let's be real too, money cost is always stressful, right? Everything you do. So when we talk about treatment and money and how much we're paying, not knowing if this is going to work or not, right? It could be very stressful, you know, and just, I think it'll be great, interesting to navigate through that thought process with audience who's thinking about, well, I got vitamin D at home, or I got this herbs at home and that. And because I remember talking to you about the absorption level, right? Your digest system, you could feel it in your gut. Like when you stop taking what I initially give you and finish off what you have, and you could feel the difference when you have something to compare to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so with that, yes, I was taking the over the counter, I don't want to call it cheap because if that's what they do, that's what they do. Um, but I did feel the difference. Like my energy, once I stopped using the name brand over the counter, whatever it was that I was taking, and started doing the isotonics and things like, I could literally feel better. So, for example, one of the medications that they had, once I did the chemo, then I had to go through and I went through chemo for 14 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to do radiation for
Mm-hmm.
6 weeks. And the radiation and chemo combination, tearing up my skin, messing with my joints. It was horrible. It was really horrible. So they gave me some kind of medicine to help, but they give you medicine to help that particular thing, like the ailing thing. My joints are hurting, but it was messing with my stomach. And
Mm-hmm.
so once I started taking the isotonics, it was, oh, wait a minute, it's fixing my joints. Like I can literally move my fingers. There was a time, and I kid you not, like I would wake up and my fingers would be so tight. They go, oh, you have arthritis.
Mm.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the case. But I saw the difference. And once I started taking the supplements, it was like, wait, okay, so why can't I move my fingers now? Why, when I get up in the morning, it doesn't hurt? Why am I more flexible? Why am I thinking? Now, I mean, I still had, because I had COVID at one time, I still had have some, moments of what's that? So the chemo forgetfulness, the COVID stuff. But again, taking the supplements today, I can say it's if it's not, I was doing it 9 out of 10 times forgetting things, maybe 1, 2 out of 10 at this point. So I can definitely see the difference in the
Mhm.
supplements that I'm taking now to help me.
Well, fast forward, you said it's been 3 years since I helped you, right, and overcome this and beat this and recovery.
Yes,
Would you say you feel better than even before you started treatment, before you were diagnosed at this moment?
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and I smile because I don't know. Well, I started taking karate again, right? Now
Yes.
I'm in my 60s. So the idea that I was taking karate and, hanging out with the young folk and doing my thing, I was like, oh, I got this. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I can't kick as high as I used to or anything like that, but I feel like I am back there when I was doing my best, right? When I was able to do all kinds of things. Um, so I have this mindset that, wow, I got this. I can, if I can't kick you, I can at least put my energy into the punch. So I feel, yeah, there's definitely a difference, and that I am at the point where I'm energized. Um, I can sleep when I do fall asleep, but because I'm still one of those who like to think in the middle of the morning, I get up and that's when I create. But I feel totally different, energized in my energy. So yeah.
It's priceless though when you say to feel that strong. It doesn't matter how old you are, but just it's not even the age, it's how young you feel and how strong and vibrant. That's priceless.
Yeah.
And I want to let people know that, a lot of people I know it's worried about just saving money, even on food, on
Hmm.
supplementation, but
Hmm.
it's priceless
Yeah. Yeah.
when you actually find the right food, right
Right.
supplementation.
And supplements. So one of the things I wanted to share with you too, Yan, is so I mentioned earlier that they said I was borderline diabetic. My pressure was at a certain thing, kind of, I forgot how your sugar levels, and so I was on water pills for a while. So I'm not taking any of that. I'm not taking any of it. But I wanted to share with you my sugar level. Like I gotten it down to 100. So it fluctuates between 100 and 107, 117, I think it is.
Mhm.
Depending on what I ate the night before, or whatever. And my blood pressure, at one point it was as high as um 150 over like 70 or something like that. So that's kind of like borderline. And I actually got it down to, what was that? Um, man, I thought I had this lined up for you, but it was, there you go. It was 119 over 72, right?
Beautiful.
So, right.
Yeah.
And so we talk about the idea of, it costs, right? It's costly, but I will spend money to keep myself alive.
But it also costs you money to get insurance, of course, when the insurance is important, but then also when you get these treatment, there's still costs. We're in
Right.
the cost also to get the medication that you're on, right? They're not all like cover 100%. And so I tell people that then there's cost of suffering, there's cost of like your body not recovering the way it's supposed to, the cost of not be able to do the things you normally want to do, or to come to be more independent, to accomplish more on your plate that you wanted to do. That's all the costs that I mean, think about, all the things you're doing right now that you're able to do, continue to um achieve work and do writing and all this amazing things you're doing. So the other thing I wanted to share with the audience is, you were, um, learning how to eat, and it takes like, everything's, I'm creating food for, I'm making food every 2 weeks and just getting you started, right? But it also takes your family, inviting your life partner to learn, and as you're juggling to how to take care of yourself, tell me, share a little bit of what that's like to involve your family too, and get them to, because it's learning about food, right? Learning about what we put in our body does make a difference in how we can do it together as a family.
Right. I mean, in terms of the food, it's still a struggle because my family isn't used to eating like that. And I do have to say, during the time I was a little selfish, and it was like, no, mine, like, you know, like I needed to make sure that I was eating healthy, and
But they saw though,
sure
what I'm
that
saying is they see it.
they
See the
saw it and
difference.
they did try it. So that was a good thing. They did try it, and but it is definitely a struggle. But when it comes to the supplements, oh, they love the supplements. I mean, my little ones, they will come up and decide that this is what I need for today, and can I have my OPC3? And my baby girl will go, can I have my aloe? I need my aloe, and so they see it, they take the supplements themselves, and we'll ask for it.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
And also, you're learning so much about, your body during this process, even during the healing process. We meet often enough to just check in and see how you're doing in your recovery. And there's still things from, like, for example, the emphysema from the surgery. It's an ongoing process. It is getting better, right? But you got to work on that. Your numbness and tingling, that take a while to also fully feel like you have, you know, um, um, be able to accomplish the healing process of that, because you might feel a little bit better, but it's like a little there, right? The tingling and numbingness. So that took a while, but you understand it's working, right? So
Yes,
that's important to tell yourself, like, I'm on the right track, right? So,
definitely.
um, what else? Your hair, your beautiful lock, that these are
Yeah,
real, right?
they're coming back. They're coming back. It's coming back. It's
Right. I
thick.
want to let the audience know those are real and they're coming back. And they're full and nice. And so that's really important, that's all the sign of healing. Your
Yeah.
body takes a while. And I want to tell people, you got to give it a little patience. It's not going to be like 30 days or
Mhm.
90 days. I don't know if you want to talk about that process and what makes you trust the process, and how you are, or how you talk yourself into understanding this process.
Yeah. And it is. And I so on two levels. I understand when you are financially struggling that it's easier to do nothing or minimal um instead of taking care of your health. And so my health is important to me. And so therefore, while there are times that financially it seems like it's too much, it's never too much if you're looking at your health. And so if and I'm not a person who smokes, but I understand that cigarettes are probably $10 or something like that. I don't know, probably $10, $15 by now. So if you're going to go out and buy a pack of cigarettes for $15, you can buy some supplements for fifteen
Which
dollars.
only last you like a week, or maybe a pack of cigarettes.
Right, right. I don't know, but the idea is, in that you don't know, so you keep doing it. But if the pharmaceuticals, if the medical community gave you the whatever the it is, you will continue to take it and see if it works. And at the same time, while you're taking it for X, Y is happening and you're jacking up your system. So for example, I had to get on, can I just share this piece? I had to get on
Oh, yeah.
3 different
Oh, yeah.
medications. The
I was
first
going to
one,
ask you about that later on too. Yes.
okay. So the very first medicine that they put me on, that I was supposed to be on for 5 years, is
Hmm.
tamoxifen. That's the thing that ate up my joints. I was in so much pain. I had muscle cramps that was all over the place. But they give you that medication, and we, you know, in our community, we'll go, okay, the doctor gave it to us, so it must be it, and I'm going to take this for the 5 years. Well, I was in so much pain, it was like, nope, let me go and advocate for myself. I'm not going to take that. They gave me another medication, and it was called letrozole. And that blew me up. I gained like 30, 35 pounds
Yeah.
in maybe 3-4 months. I was like, no, thank you. I'm a Black woman at a certain age, overweight. That's a heart attack or something ready to happen for
But
me.
that also spike up your blood sugar too,
Right.
which you want to watch out for.
So I'm not interested in doing that. So that's number 2. The third one, which was, and I'm going to ask you to help me with, I think it's exemestane, exist. So that's the medication they had me on.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was just as bad. It started eating up my kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
So but we will go, okay, the doctor gave it to us, so we should take it.
Right. I remember we talked a lot, you know, I was like, why are you in so much pain? Right. I didn't know that, you know, when we checked in that, okay, you were taking these medication because they say, well, we want to block out the hormones, right? We want to make sure it doesn't come back.
Right.
And the thing is that there's so much statistics out there already showing that how people are also not only hurting your liver and kidney, but also convert to another different type of cancer. Then you're trying to stop one cancer and it causes another cancer. So that's another thing that are another topic for, you know, we can go into that because they don't really disclose that, and you'll have to really do your own reading and research to find out. And then, you know, that they hope that you don't find out, right?
Exactly.
But when you're limping and you're in pain, I said, trying to figure out for you. But then once I asked you, are you taking anything right at this moment? Didn't know how long you were taking this last medication. You're in so much joint pain, and one of the side effects is muscle cramp and muscle pain and joint pain.
Yeah.
And you thought you injured yourself or whatever, or the doctor might say, well, it's just arthritis, take more pain meds, right?
Right.
And how many people actually are following those recommendations too?
Right.
And then they say, well, oh well, it's just aging and your body's just
Exactly.
supposed to break down. Your body's
Yeah.
supposed to break down. So I'm so glad that you listen to your body, number one, and I'm glad that we stay connected. And I was able to look at your blood work, and I said, why is your kidney level at stage 3? I'm like, you're taking these wonderful supplements that I'm taking, my family's taking too. A lot of us, a lot of our clients are taking that are feeling amazing. I said, I don't think it's the supplements. What's going on, right? And so when we look at this medication, kidney damage was one of them in there. Well, what happened once you stopped? What do you realize?
Right, and that's what I was gonna address that too. Is I want to take a quick step back. While the medical community say take these, and we do what the medical doctors say, and we don't ask, you know, is this really going to work, or is it going to heal us? But the moment we have someone from, you know, naturalists saying, here's some supplements that could potentially do the same thing. Why don't you try this? Well, why shouldn't I? If I just tried the medical community and all of the pharmaceuticals, and it's doing all of this damage, I feel like I can try, and it might take a while to get me to the point where I want to be, but I'm going to try it. I'm not going to try it for 15 minutes and go, oh, it didn't work. No, I didn't work for it. Right. So I keep working so that it will work for me. And so that's why, you know, I keep taking the isotonics and all of the supplements, because it's been working for me.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to bring to audiences. How do you continue to advocate for yourself? It's not about what Yan is saying, right? But I'm showing you how to listen to your body to understand what works, what doesn't work. And when things doesn't feel right, you feel painful, we have to check on it, right? And continue to advocate for yourself. Advocating, it's doing your research, you know, understanding what's going on. and then be able to like look at, you know, what else is there that can help me as well, right? And gather your information, and don't continue to hurt your body. And if someone's not listening to you, you have to advocate and say, I'm going to find someone that listens to me, which
Exactly.
I know is really hard in the Black and brown community, right? Like you shared.
Yes. Yeah.
And even the minority in general, a lot of, you know, Asian, Hispanics, community, like if you, they look up to the doctor or whoever's in power, right? And superior. And so whatever they say, they're not going to challenge that. And so teaching people how to advocate, be able to like listen to their own body and help other people listen to them. I think it's also like a skill set too, and almost like a privilege thing, right? But back to the medication, I check in with you after you stop for a while, right? I think maybe 30 days, and then we just modify certain supplementation to help with your joint issue, inflammation issue, and then I think you're can you share with that, like what results did you find, and what was the blood work also, and did you feel better?
I definitely felt better. I did blood work, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, so I need to get all of that back. No, I'm sorry. When I did the blood work, when it came back saying that my creatinine levels were pretty high, and everything pointed to that there was something with the kidneys. I stopped taking that and continued with my just taking all of my supplements. So I have to go and do another blood work, but I feel great. Like I don't have any pain in my back and my lower back. Like there were times where it's like, and I know my body. And so it felt like, I don't know how to explain it, but like I had this dry pain in the lower back, not in the muscle, but in the organs. Like it just didn't feel right. So I knew that something wasn't right. And that's when we did the blood work. So now, you know, a month out, I have to go back and do another round of blood work just to see that I know that there's a difference, because I'm not having that pain anymore. So I feel great.
Yeah.
And after coming off of that medicine.
Well, there's toxin in all the pharmaceuticals. They have toxin in them, and through the FDA, you know, the auditing, and then through the research, they want to make sure the toxin doesn't kill you enough and does do what it treats the other things, and that's what it is. People need to know there's toxins in all these medications. And so that's why, like, you know, you wait 30 days and then you do the blood work to see like if your numbers are down, and that means also your body in the herbs and supplementation that have you to help your body detox too. You continue to eating healthy and detox and get rid of it, have time to, you know, let it pass out of you, right? And then healing those damages. But I was thinking, you know, I want to share it with people that how wise you are. And when we talk about advocacy, after I talked to you about the high creatine level, I was like, something's not right, right? If something's causing that. But you also get a verification, and you went to your family doctor, and then your family doctor also verified, like, yeah, that's there's
Yeah,
you have your doctor were able to look back all your other blood work and say, I don't see any issue. There's
exactly.
nothing inkling detected for even stage 1 or stage 2, and then suddenly by the time she saw you, this time's like stage 3, like, you know, at that level. So you're able to get that validation, and where she said like it has to be this.
Right.
um
Exactly. So
mm,
yeah, because I went to the oncologist who prescribed the medication and said to the oncologist, there's something happening. I think the medication is causing this. No, 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 it must be something else. So that's why I went to my primary. And when I went to my primary, she looked back, just takes a moment to go to the charts, do whatever you do as a doctor, look through it. Oh, by the way, no, it doesn't look like there's anything happening from this time to this time. It just started happening after taking this medication. So come on, 1 + 1 does equal 2 sometimes. You know what I mean? That's what it is. So
that's great. You know, I really enjoy really working with you, because it's always a joy when I'm working with people that are open-minded. They wanted to learn, because I'm always ready to teach. You know, I wanted to break things down. I want to explain things. I want to show you why it works, right? Not just say, do this, it will work, and that's it. Like, I really want to help you to be your own doctor in a way, your own advocate. understanding what you're taking that helps you, why they help you, and making that shift. And that's part of like lifestyle medicine. It's like we always talk about the food, the activity, your sleep, and also managing stress, right? um so those pieces are important. So I want the audience know that it's not just like one thing we do, but when we talk about the lifestyle medicine protocol, what I bring to it from Art of Wellness is that, and anyone that works with me, you will learn truly so much about your body and how to completely, you know, be your own best advocate. The other thing is, do you want to talk about like how you are managing stress, how you're shifting as your body is becoming so wholesome right now, how your outlook in life?
Okay. Yeah, well, in terms of the stress management, every Monday through Friday, I'm on a 7:15 call with Miss Yan, who does this meditation. I do a meditation on Wednesday evenings, a mindless meditation on Wednesday evenings. I try to get as much sleep as my body will allow because my brain still wants to create. So I sleep. I've been doing a lot, like playing with my children sometimes, believe it or not, will get me to calm down. Plus I have one who will say, can we, I was like, when I get overwhelmed, she will go, can you breathe with me? Can you do a snake breath? Can you do, and so in the moment, I might not want to, but here is this baby telling you, okay, you need to take care of your well-being. So that's what I do. So there are different things that I'm doing now to make sure that I am not as stressed. I usually teach 3, 4 classes. This semester only took 2. I am writing my book, so I'm doing all of that, being up at night, doing the book. I trying to get these patents together. I just got a patent. And so there's all of this energy that's going on, and I'm constantly going, and then do I have enough money and all of that? So now it's just like, you know what? I'm going to be okay. My health is good. My children are fine. I'm in the place where I can, when I am stressed, I know what I need to do to calm that energy. And so, I've learned how to take care of me, take care of me. And sometimes it's okay. Like, nope, I don't need my children right now to be in my space. I need time for me. You don't always find it, but I need time for me. Yeah.
Right. And you hear me talk about it during the meditation, just even a few minutes, right? 3 minutes, 5 minutes. When you intentionally give yourself that time, that can still be so healing and loving. But I'm smiling as you're sharing this with me because I'm like, wow, your youngest one is 7, and she's such a spiritual being already. And they're benefiting from all the healing work, the self work that you're doing with your partner, and so much that not only you gain, but they all gain too. So it's such a joy to see her gravitate toward the meditation as well, and knowing that how useful that is.
Yeah.
That brings so much joy to me to hear that. One last question for you is, what new freedom would you say you experience, at this time of your life and doing all this work?
What new freedoms? That's a good one. I think just being able to recognize when I need time for me, and being able to speak up for me. Not that I'm one that will allow you to walk over me or anything, but there are times when I need my mental health break, so I can do that. And I think that's the most important freedom for me right now. I don't often get it because of the 4 children, my life partner, my I have a nonprofit organization as well, and the for-profit business. So all of these things are pulling at me. I could actually take a step back and know that they will be there. They will be there. And so I now know how to do deep work, and the idea of just going deep when I need to and doing shallow work when I need to, I'm good.
So wise, because coming from a giver like you, that's really great wisdom for yourself, and for so many other people who are listening to this. If you're a giver, this is something I hope that you can take it to heart as well. Um, So Dr. Renaya, thank you so much for joining me for this interview. This is really endearing and really special to me. And I hope that the audience find it really helpful. And I hope that, whoever you're next, if you want to come and learn about services and also experience your own, find new freedom for whatever struggle you're going through and experience of freedom with art or wellness, I welcome you to contact me. Okay, thank you so much again. Thank you for all your time, and I'll see you at the next episode. Take care now. If you like what you just learned, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you at the next video.